Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim for the Real Sports Talk. You can hit me up on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST. Also, like the Real Sports Talk on Facebook. I know that there is a lot going around about Derrick Rose. Rumors from NBC Miami that he tore his ACL and MCL and that he will be out for the season. Those rumors were actually pulled back by NBC Miami. I will wait until everything is officially confirmed by the Bulls or by someone extremely close to the Bulls, which I'm sorry, NBC Miami, while they are a verified source on Twitter and everything like that, really has nothing to do with the Bulls. The Heat aren't even playing the Bulls. So NBC Miami might be reporting that, but it is not a close enough source for me to make a video about it. The second that there is a real source that has this information 100% on lockdown, I will make a video and you can put your thoughts about it. Right now, if you want to go react about Derrick Rose's injury with other NBA fans, you can go react on the video I made earlier about the Bulls beating the Sixers. There's already over 30 comments on this video talking about Derrick Rose, talking about what it means for the series, what it means for the Bulls, if the Sixers are now back in the series, and numerous other things. So you are going to want to go check that out. As far as this Heat and New York Knicks game, it wasn't much of a game. LeBron James and the Miami Heat come out and win 100-67. We knew how good this Heat defense was, and they showed it today, holding the Knicks to a playoff, to 67 points, which ties a record for the lowest amount of points scored in the playoffs. The Knicks were a 14-19 team away from the Garden this year, and it really showed today. I'll go through some stats, and then I also want to talk about LeBron James flopping and a few other things. We will start with the New York Knicks. Carmelo Anthony had an absolutely atrocious start that he could never climb out of. While he had 10 rebounds, and I've been impressed with how well he's been rebounding, only 11 total points and shot 3 of 15 and only had 3 assists. Amari Stoudemire, who looked ridiculous with his cornrows, 9 points and 5 total rebounds, shot 2 of 7. Tyson Chandler had some injuries coming into the game, and we just don't know. I mean, offensively, he's not going to be a monster, but today, 0 of 3 in 21 minutes with 0 points. Baron Davis, 17 minutes, gets 4 of 6 and 10 points. He had a nice start, but did not play a full game. And then Iman Shumpert, I don't know why I said Iman Shumpert, who had a tremendous overall season this year, should in many people's mind be all-team on defense, or defensively probably won't because he's not a household name, but he played tremendous defense this season. He left this game injured, and Derrick Rose also left injured earlier for the Bulls. So 2 guys that play for Adidas, as it was pointed out to me today, a week after Dwight Howard goes out for the season, both of them get injured. We're going to have to see with Shumpert, but that looked equally as bad as what we saw with Derrick Rose. Off the bench, Steve Novak was the one bright side. 2 of 2 from downtown, 2 of 2 from the field, and he had 17 total points. He had 6 points. J.R. Smith went 7 of 17, 3 of 8 from downtown, and 17 points. 3 of 8 from downtown, you kind of question, was that really worth it? From the Miami Heat side, it was led by LeBron James, who in 32 minutes didn't get a ton of time in the fourth quarter or in the early part of the second, went 10 of 14, 11 of 14 from the foul line, 3 defensive rebounds, 4 total rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, and 32 total points. Udonis Haslem had 3 points. Chris Bosh went 3 of 7, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 9 points. Dwayne Wade, 8 of 13, 19 points. He was not really asked to carry as big a role as he normally does because LeBron played so well, and pretty much going into that second half, he put the game away himself. Dwayne Wade, he didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a great game either. Mario Chalmers goes 3 of 5 with 11 points. And then off the bench, Mike Miller had 9 points, shot 3 of 10, and 3 of 9 from downtown. They need him to be more consistent from behind the arc if they are going to be successful. Shane Battier played absolutely smothering defense today and went 2 of 8 shooting, had 8 total points. James Jones 3 of 4 with 7 points. So some of my overall thoughts about this game, I know that all the buzz is going to Derrick Rose, but this is a game that people also need to look at as well. The Knicks early were winning the battles for loose balls, but they weren't converting a lot of them, and Carmelo Anthony had an extremely slow start. LeBron James started well, and Shane Battier's defense looks absolutely incredible. We knew that, and if you pair him, putting him on this team was almost unfair because we all know how good of a perimeter defender that LeBron James is, and we all know because of his size he can also go down low and defend in the post when Chris Bosh isn't in there or whatever the case may be. And you add that with Shane Battier, who's probably one of the best defenders that's ever played in the NBA and has always been a really underrated player, and a Heat team overall that Eric Spoelstra preaches defense. Dwayne Wade's a good defender, and this team really showed it today. They had one of the best defensive performances in the playoffs of all time. Having these, holding the Knicks to 67 points is absolutely incredible. Now, the flagrant foul that was called on Tyson Chandler, I did not think was flagrant. At first, I thought LeBron flopped, because if you look at the motion he made, and you look at, you know that LeBron flops, and I'll get to that in a little bit. You look at that replay originally, it looks kind of like LeBron had just faked it. But if you watch the replay a second or third time, LeBron's neck did snap, and he did look like he was in some pain. Ultimately, he said, going into halftime to Lisa Salters of ABC, that he had just kind of gotten a little whiplash, got the wind knocked out of him. I understood that. It should not have been a flagrant 2. Or actually it was made a flagrant 1, but it shouldn't have been a flagrant at all on Tyson Chandler. While he did push into him a little bit, it should have just been a foul, and it should have been left at that. I thought the reffing was very much in the Heat's favor today. Unfortunately for the Knicks, you can't claim that that's what won the game, because ultimately you did not play well enough to even be in this game, let alone to say that the refs cost you the game today. That's kind of going to be something that goes throughout the playoffs. So the Knicks will get some calls when they're in MSG, but downtown in Miami, they're not going to be getting too many calls, and that's just kind of something that they're going to have to know going into the game, that they cannot allow a late call to be what determines the game. They're going to have to win these games earlier, because we saw with the Bulls earlier, the reffing in the NBA is biased. If you didn't know that, you know it now, and it's not going to change. That's the bottom line. The Heat flop in general. I think that's the conclusion I've come to. We all see that shot that Dwayne Wade constantly takes where the guy's nowhere near fouling him, but he just leans into him. He draws a contact. Technically, it should be a foul, and then he goes up and makes a shot and ends up an and one. We saw LeBron James do it today, and it ended up being a three-point play on the one that he banked it in. And I guess I wouldn't necessarily blame them for doing it, because as long as they continue to get that call, and it is a call that should be made by the NBA according to the rules and by anyone in a basketball position, then I guess you keep doing it. But I just am not a fan of that, because I think that it is flopping. I think that it's not going to be foul, and if you're going to win the game, you win it the right way. And I'm not a fan of seeing... I think that people that flop and people that go for calls like that consistently tend to get a reputation as soft players, and that's a reputation that LeBron James has, when in reality it should be LeBron James and the entire Heat team, because that is something that they do. They flop a lot, and the talent on that team is so good, defensively and offensively, that most of the times it's just unnecessary. Chris Bosh, if anyone, would be the guy that I would expect more flopping from, but you get a lot more flopping from Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. And Jeff Van Gundy pointed out that there was no way on the one where LeBron James got knocked down by Carmelo Anthony, that Carmelo Anthony, by nudging LeBron James and pushing on him, but playing tight defense that was perfectly legal, that he should have been able to knock LeBron James down, that was a flop. And it was. I mean, it's as simple as that. LeBron James has so much talent, and to see him flopping is just an unfortunate thing. That being said, though, you have 32, 4, and 3 today with 4 steals. It is time to give him credit. Again, no one is going to act like it if he chokes in the NBA Finals that this is a huge thing. But you give the guy credit where credit is due, and he earned it today. He played a great overall game, shot well above 50% on the day, actually well above 60% on the day, and played a tremendous game. You give the guy credit where credit is due, and then you say, you still have to prove it to me in the NBA Finals this year. If you stick with me throughout the entire NBA playoffs, and then we'll go for KJ and Thom, if he comes on, anyone that comes on to cover NBA, we're going to be real with LeBron James, and it's never going to be popular with LeBron James. That's something I learned. If you criticize him, then you will get LeBron fans, or even people that just defend LeBron because of all the hate, say you're being a little hard on him. But if I don't do that, then you'll get the LeBron James haters say, oh, you're a LeBron fan. I'm going to be straight down the middle no matter what the reaction is going to be to LeBron James. And if you don't like that, then maybe this isn't the show for you. But it's called The Real Sports Talk, not the fake sports talk. And I'm going to keep it real here on TRST.